Hour number 2, Prater in the ball game. We'll get to Austin Bolt, the Bora Flash and the local high school football legend, Boise State wide receiver, at about 5:15 tonight. He spoke with the media. Plenty of Boise State spring football coverage coming your way. We'd like to welcome in our video audience. Thanks to Dollar Loan Center on that one. Prater in the ball game with the captain of the Idaho Steelheads, his 6th year with the team, getting ready to wrap up another sensational regular season. He's A.J. White in studio. Say hey, A.J.
Fellas, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
First time, man.
Yeah, I mean,
you're on our turf now,
yeah,
Whitey.
This is a little bit better than being on my couch and having to try to make sure I'm dialed in and paying attention. So this is nice.
Nice. That's nice to match your face with the voice.
He might,
in the studio.
He might be, I mean, this is probably, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. You might be one of our most talked to guests in a long. If you're going to spend an entire career being a captain of a local hockey team, you're going to have to do a lot of radio interviews, dude.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of good ones, a lot of fun. So, I mean, it's always a pleasure to be able to kind of talk any kind of sports. So it's fun to be a part of.
Absolutely. AJ, the playoffs, 5 regular season games left. Fortunately for you guys, 4 regular season games left. You played last night, wrapping up another terrific regular season. But what is it like a mindset of a hockey player and a hockey team and a captain of, switching from that regular season mindset to playoff mindset?
Yeah, there's definitely another added element to it just because of what it means to win playoffs, obviously. And so everybody's a little bit more desperate. I feel like the games get a little bit more tighter and a little bit more hard checking, but you got to be able to control your emotions because obviously if you go somewhere, especially Boise, when teams come here, it's so much energy. You can feel it. So it can be good and bad, but you got to make sure you use it the right way. But just kind of right down the stretch here, it's just kind of focusing up and trying to perfect your game a little bit and fine tune things and make sure you're just ready to have your A+ game come game 1.
AJ, you come in here cleanly shaved. You're still rocking the mustache. Our video audience can see this right now. And I was talking with Prater, my partner, last hour. Like, I would imagine it's bad luck in hockey to go into the playoffs with a beard. You got to shave that sucker off before the playoffs start. Hence the playoff beard. It's from day one. Is there any rhyme or reason to that? Or is that why you recently shaved your beard? Explain, AJ, explain.
Yeah, I mean, I feel at this point, there's not much rhyme or reason to it. There's definitely a lot of guys that'll have their facial hair going already. And partially those are the guys that kind of got the baby face looks going and can't grow as much hair anymore. But
those guys.
Yeah. I'm not going to call anyone out, but
well, that's why you're here. That's why you're here.
Yeah, he's the captain, Prater. He's got to be diplomatic.
Who does have the babyest face? Just give me one fast name then.
Well, I mean, Brian Thompson. I mean, he's only 21 years old, so it kind of makes sense. But he likes to joke that his mustache is finally starting to show up, and you'll look at him and be like, you don't see anything.
No, so, Nick Canade, who we had in studio, Prater, his picture behind us, he's kind of baby face. So is Jade Miller a little bit. Both
those
guys
are very accurate.
Okay.
They both might be angry if I say that, so I don't want to deal with that.
So we'll take care of it.
Yeah, I'll let you guys be the deciders on that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You kind of start getting these warmer, sunnier days out and kind of gets hot and annoying having a beard the full time. So especially last year, I think I kind of had mine started a little bit early and we went all the way to the end. And being in Florida with that, I was like, I don't know how guys do this.
Because you can't shave it once you start winning in the playoffs.
That's how I am. I know there's some guys, especially last year, they're like, you know what, this isn't working. We're gonna start fresh that good with you. And I'm like, I don't care what you guys do, whatever you feel good to play with.
Yeah, beard status.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to be as a hockey captain.
Yeah, I mean, you get some weird questions, let me tell you. But it doesn't matter to me. Whatever helps us win.
Well, we do like the mustache. We spent way too much time on this show today talking about mustaches. Austin Bolt showed up with his Raleigh finger one today. The captain showed up with a new fresh mustache. And speaking of the captain, and we're speaking to AJ White, Idaho Steelheads captain. 4 games to go, Friday and Saturday downtown, and then a couple more games next week, and then we're off into the playoffs. I can't believe this. You've been here 6 years, and you've been a captain for 5. I guess 3. You've been a captain here for 5 years, dude. Talk to me about what that means. That's very rare, even at the minor league level. It's happened before, but that's a pretty cool deal. I don't care how many goals or what kind of stats you have. When you look back, and maybe you've got a couple more years left in you, we'll ask that as well. But that's got to be career defining.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great honor anytime you have a group of guys that can look up to you, and obviously they want your input and you to be that guy to help them out and pull them along. And I mean, I've been fortunate enough to just be in one place like such as Boise, and I've cherished every moment. I feel like we've had a lot of conversations about how great it is to play here. And,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I mean it, and that's part of the reason I've been able to come back and play so many years. But yeah, I mean, when you say it, that it's been 5 years or even just playing here for 6 years, it's kind of crazy to think about at this point. But yeah, I mean, it's been just an honor to be around for this long.
Are you a good as hockey player now than you were 6 years ago, or better?
I'd say that's a pretty good question. I kind of back and forth. There's things in my game that I think I've definitely gotten better at throughout pro career. Just some things learning to be, that everyday pro. And then obviously, I think being a little bit older I mean, not that I've ever was a very fast skater, and there's plenty of people that'll attest to that, but definitely gets a little bit harder to keep up with all these young bucks that are coming around. And I feel like they keep getting a little bit smaller and faster every year, but that just kind of pushes you to kind of keep your game as good as it can be. And then, I mean, I think as a player, I've definitely become more of a well-rounded player, and I think that's just a lot of help from the coaches as well.
You still in the sport for a few more years, or are you starting to have that conversation with yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we kind of talked about this towards the end of last year, and at this point, I kind of take it year by year, and even sometimes like day by day after the season. It's one of those things you kind of sit down and just kind of see how your body's feeling. And even at this point, I think that some of us older guys, you kind of explore your job opportunities and just kind of put yourself out there to see what's available. And obviously, if there's something worth not passing up, you're gonna jump on that. But at the same time, I mean, we're also lucky to be able to play a game that we love. And I mean, a lot of people call it a child's game, and being 31, almost 32 now, still playing it. I mean, it's not something I would have ever imagined. So I just kind of take it day by day.
He's AJ White, captain of the Idaho Steelheads, right here in studio on Prater in the ball game. And, AJ, last year was so magnificent, what you guys were able to do. It's the greatest regular season any ECHL hockey team's ever had. Got in a little trouble earlier in the playoffs, but you recovered and you took it all the way to the Kelly Cup finals. Didn't go your way. Is there less pressure this year because you don't have all the fanfare attached to it? And maybe can that be a good thing? AJ White, you have not won a Kelly Cup with the Steelies, and just looking at you right now, I think that would be a big ass deal to you and everybody around you if you guys can finally do that.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I think it probably does help kind of lower the stress. I mean, you kind of got the Kansas City team who chased our record for a long bit this year, and they're going to be a really good team in playoffs as well, I'm sure. But I think most of us that came back, we came back because of how last year ended. And I mean, we all know that it doesn't matter how well you do in the regular season. It's what you do when you show up for playoffs. And I think we all just kind of had that motive where it doesn't matter where we are when we reach playoffs. It's a whole new year. So yeah, I mean, it's like you said, haven't been able to win one here. It's been a while now since Idaho and Boise have been able to enjoy a champion here, and that's something we try to strive for every year.
All right, before we dive into some of the weird stuff, the goofy stuff, to get to know you stuff, just more about the next 4 games. 2 games this week, Rapid City this week. I'm not even sure who you play next week.
Utah.
It's Utah. Okay, I got a Utah question for you too then. So a couple of games with Rapid City this week, a couple of Utah, and then all of a sudden the ECHL Kelly Cup. These 4 games, standings-wise, playoff jockeying-wise, seeding-wise, don't matter. In your locker room, they matter. What is the priority over these next 4 games as you try to fine-tune your game? And the secondary part of that question is, with every game now as a sellout, and when you came here, there were weekend sellouts, maybe after the holidays. Every stinking game now is a sellout. How does that change the external pressure you guys have to face all the time?
Yeah, so I mean, just kind of down the stretch here, you just want to be able to, play the right way, keep everybody healthy. we're not too worried about the results. Obviously, you want to win every game, especially on home ice, but we just want to be playing the right way. And if the results come, that's a bonus. Usually if you play the right way, the results come too. So that's something we've been harping on. Even last weekend in Utah, that was something we were trying to just make sure we're doing the little details and just fine tuning things going into the playoffs. And we thought we deserved better than what happened last weekend, but we got the results last night, and that's something we're just going to try to carry over the next 2 weeks. And as far as attendance, I mean, yeah, it's been crazy. I know even my first year, the weekends, I mean, Saturday night, if you couldn't get up for a game like that, I don't know what to tell you, but Wednesday nights were always maybe a little iffy those first couple of years. And now it seems like even Wednesday nights are pretty much always sold out. I mean, yesterday's crowd was great, and yeah, there was some seats, but it was loud and energetic. So, I mean, they bring a lot of energy, and we definitely feed off of it, and we love it. And I mean, I don't think we allow it to be like, oh, we have to win in front of these group of fans. But I mean, we just kind of use it as a motivation and just, cherish the fact that all these people are showing up for us, and we want to put a good product on the ice for them.
Only 2 Steelheads career have scored more goals than our guest right here, AJ White, who scored his 111th goal for the Steelies. Prater, just in, I believe the last goal you scored was number 111. So congratulations on that, AJ.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Appreciate
you're getting in real exclusive company. What would it mean? I mean, you look at and you see jerseys in the rafters every single night when you play at Idaho Central Arena. You're getting to the point where you're logging as many games and winning or having as many accomplishments as some of the great Steelies to ever do it. What would it mean to see AJ White's name up there in your sweater with some of those all-timers?
Yeah.
Is that something you think about, AJ, as you get a little older?
I mean, I feel like only when it gets brought up, So I try not to think about it too much, but
I had that question written down too. So you were going to get it no matter what.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things. It's just an incredible accomplishment. I mean, I don't think it matters what level it's at. It's something you take a lot of pride in. And obviously those guys that are up there, they've been phenomenal players wherever they've been. And they're great people on and off the ice. I've been lucky and fortunate enough to meet a lot of them. And they're just great people to talk and connect to. And you can look what they've done. They had great careers, but they also were able to bring home a Kelly Cup too. And those are one of those things that I think I would definitely help solidify. So that's the main goal right now, is just worried about trying to bring home a Kelly Cup.
Rapid City's in town Friday and Saturday night, Idaho Central Arena, Idaho Steelheads. If you don't got tickets, good luck. Go do something else because you ain't going to find them. But we got Captain AJ White right here in the studio. Rapid City, you guys are 10-1 against Rapid City this year. That's the team factor. You, my friend, in this head-to-head series with Rapid Cities, Rapid City has 16 points, 6 goals, 10 assists in 11 games, including a hat trick in November. The Steelheads dominate Rapid City. You have great success. And I'm not asking you to talk about Rapid City. In your career, do you find that you can latch onto teams and just dominate them, and the confidence becomes so strong that there's no way you're going to lose individually and as a team?
Yeah, I think there's definitely things that go into that. I think in my whole career in Boise, we've had a pretty good record against Rapid, and I think that's one of those things. You go to the rink and you just kind of feel comfortable in knowing that you've won here. And you could be down in the game. You're like, hey, we've seen it how many times being down in this building, we can come back and win. And it's just one of those things. You just kind of have no doubts when you walk into a rink like that. And I think that's kind of been a case. And we kind of had a little bit out of motivation at the start of the year that they're it's crazy but their like radio media person did a big video before the thing, basically just calling us a bunch of choke artists for last year. So that
really?
Yeah. So that
kick his ass.
So that was one of those things where we made sure we were like, we want to make sure that they pay every time they play us. And
when you say we, as the captain, are you saying you, me?
Well, I wasn't the one that found the video, but I think I was probably the one that made sure everyone else that was around me saw the video.
Nice.
So yeah, but obviously you got to find a little factors and things that motivate you, no matter how dumb or silly it is. But I mean, it's worked for us this year, and hopefully we can continue that success.
See, back in the newspaper days, ballgame, now I'd go back to the office and write a headline. Captain predicts 2-game sweep over Rapid City this weekend.
Oh, and that would have sold more papers than on a typical day, man. People would have rushed to that headline. AJ White, Steelheads captain, in studio. Prater in the ball game. I heard your folks are in town for like 2 weeks. You're spreading the Boise love. I believe you're from Michigan, and your dad's a truck driver, so he's listening to this station quite often to catch your games. And pretty cool. How's your family life?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we communicate as much as we probably used to, but it's great. My dad, me and him check in on each other pretty much every day.
Big hockey fan, your dad?
Yeah.
He's a hockey guy?
I mean, as soon as the Red Wings started up, I was getting texts and I'd be like, I don't know what this guy's talking about, but he's listening to every single one. So a lot of that. And obviously he loves all Detroit sports. So every Lions game, Sundays or Monday.
Big deal,
yeah, big deal. Getting a bunch of texts. But yeah, I mean, it's awesome to have them here. And they've come out pretty much every year, checked out Boise, and they always have a great time and love it. So it's nice to have a little bit more time so they can have some downtime, but also explore and actually kind of, get to see all the good views.
One of my favorite stories I like to share on this show is that I went to Detroit for a couple of playoff, back in the old Joe days, went to a couple playoff games there, and me and my buddies had so much fun. We lost our rental car and never found it. So if your parents find my rental car from 20 years ago, I still have a bill that I need to pay. If you could help me out there, that'd be cool. The point there being that Detroit and playoff hockey was really, really cool. I want to switch back here to Idaho. Connor Millimuck, the new kid on the block. Jeremy, he's up in the rafters with the other three greats that you're going to be joining here in the next couple of years. This kid comes into town. He's got a reputation for fighting a little bit. He's a physical guy. Scored his goal last night, got in a fight. Connor Millimuck, and I don't know how much you know Jeremy, but just the presence of this new kid and the energy and the scoring and the physicality that he brings to hockey, that's got to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, first game he gets in a fight, and you're like, all right, this guy wants to be here. And
does that mean something to you guys?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go fight and not really know what you're doing and whatever, and you're like, okay, like if we get it,
you get a kid,
yeah, but when you know what you're doing, you're tough and you can hold your own like he can. And I mean, he's fighting tough guys and he's doing a heck of a job. So you see that, you're like, all right. And then, I mean, another thing, he can play. He's a solid two-way player, and he's big and heavy on the puck, and he can make plays. And those are things that kind of, you get that whole package. And I think it was one of the things that we might've been missing a little bit this year was that toughness. And we were able to just kind of add that in, and I think it'll be a nice little bonus going into playoffs as well.
One of the things that my ballgame and I like to have a little debate about every now and then, he's always questioning, and rightfully so sometimes, because I do too, fighting in hockey, and I love it because of the traditional reasons and the things that the answers you guys always give. Although last night, I don't know if you saw the Devils Rangers, I'm sure you did.
Had to watch
an old-fashioned line brawl, 2 seconds in, 5-on-5, 8 guys ejected. Obviously, there was a beef in the past. Obviously, they figured out that let's take care of the beef. How does that work? Do you negotiate that? Do captains hang out and negotiate that? Do they tell the coach? How does the line brawl and 8 ejections happen in the first 2 seconds of the game? There's proper planning in there somehow, Captain.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to assume in a situation like that, they probably were organizing it a little bit. And obviously, you still have to get probably the coach is okay in that situation, because
do you though?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's going to be guys that don't care, but
okay.
I mean, they lost 4 guys each. So I mean, that's something like as a coach, you now have to worry about too for the next 59 minutes, 58 seconds.
Yes.
So I mean, there's definitely some that goes into that, but I'm sure they probably talked it out during the warm-ups, probably patrolling the red line. I would honestly love to see if there's video of them talking. I mean, I don't even know if I knew I was fighting right off the get-go. I don't know if I'd do anything other than sit there and stretch and be like, what's the point? Like,
you sell the warm-up routine, listening to your music or whatever you do.
What am I shooting pucks for? Like, stick hand, and I'll just stand out here and wait and be done.
Feels like a small price to pay, getting a scrap with a guy for 90 seconds and you get off of work for the rest of the night.
mean, as long as
I
you,
would do.
as long as your face didn't get beat in too much, I think that's not a bad gig.
Now you look like a completely normal dude, AJ White. You can see him.
Wow.
This is our Dollar Loan
I'll
Center
take it.
video segment. But I was told that, and I've gotten,
I know where this is
I've
going.
gotten the same exact haircut since I was 12. Okay, I don't know what other haircuts to get. Right, I'm not stylish. I'm not cool like that. But I heard you'll go from a full beard to cleanly shaven. You'll go from a Fabio long hair look to a buzz cut, different clothing styles as well. My boy Cam McGuire, your play-by-play guy, wanted me to hit you up with like, how and why, where's the inspiration? Apparently you change your look, your motif more than anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of go with whatever I feel like doing it. I'm not such a superstitious guy where if I have long hair going and I'm like playing well, I'm like, oh, I got to keep this thing going. Or same with the beard, whatever.
Are you single? Is it for the ladies?
Oh, no, I have a girlfriend, and
Okay.
she honestly hates how much I change everything, and usually partially because I don't let her know. So I'll have a full beard going on, and then all of a sudden she'll show up from work and I have a mustache, and she'll look
Nice,
at me.
AJ.
Yeah, so got to keep her on her toes, but yeah, I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to it. I just have fun mixing it up, and it's fun to get the reactions from the fellas as well.
What about, I was going to ask you about Salt Lake City real quick and the possibility of bringing National Hockey League just a few hours closer to Boise, Idaho, and getting in a car and being able to go down there. I know Ryan Smith and his Jazz group are thinking about doing that. News just in the last 2 hours. The Arizona Coyotes owner came out and said, I've had multiple conversations with people now in state and out of state about selling my franchise. And I don't know if that will ever come together. Just as you, the ambassador of hockey and growing hockey in this region, we've always said Boise's this great town, but it's also the most isolated big city in America. You got to go 5 hours anywhere. If I can drive 5 hours to Salt Lake to watch NHL hockey as opposed to getting on a plane to Vegas, that's a pretty cool deal. How important would that be to hockey in this region?
Yeah, I think that definitely gives it a great opportunity to grow the game even more, especially like you kind of hit on it. Even, I mean, the Arizona area, you get the Boise area, you're going to have Salt Lake. There's still hockey that goes on, but it definitely can grow. And I think you get an NHL team there. It's all that publicity. It's just so much easier to put out there, I feel like. And like you said, I mean, a 5-hour drive, it's not that hard to go make a weekend of it and get to watch a little NHL hockey as well. And I think that'd be pretty sweet if that actually happened.
Do you think Idaho, Boise could ever, and I bother Trap with this question all the time, he just ignores me anymore, but could there be is Boise an AHL market, which is essentially AAA for hockey?
Okay. Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it definitely could be. I know there's things that would have to be probably done to the rink to be AHL certified, and don't know how all that would work with it being pretty much landlocked with the hotel there. But obviously I think as far as like the fan base and the way hockey has grown here, I think they definitely would be able to get a good crowd. And I mean, we've seen it the last couple of years continue to grow. And we talked about the crowds just on a Wednesday night. And,
right.
I think it would be possible if it was ever truly taken seriously, probably.
Captain AJ White, you got 4 home games remaining in the season, and then here we go. The playoffs in spring. Beautiful Boise down at the Grove, heading into Idaho Central Arena, watching the Steelies chase down a Kelly Cup. AJ White, always appreciate your time. Better today having you in studio.
Yeah, this was awesome. Love it, guys. And I mean, I would come anytime because you guys want it.
Yeah, dude. Prater, people love hanging in the Road Paint studio, dude.
Yeah. We'll make it happen. We'll make it definitely happen. Go on a deep playoff run. We'll get you back here twice, dude.
Perfect.
That's our Dollar Loan Center video segment. Prater in the ball game.
From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Studios, this is Ticket Traffic.